Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your time zone. This is your host, Peter. Welcome to this coming week update and how, let's see what the chart is giving us. Let's dive into it. This is DXY. The DXY, which talks about the strength index of the dollar, will kind of give us an idea of what is going to happen across the dollar pairs. Now, this is multi-time frame, and we can still see that so far this month, the dollar, you can see it here, is still bearish right from the top here. But this is the Monday will be the 9th day of this month. So 9 days engagement is what we are seeing capture. So we really can't see a whole lot from this month because it's still young. The month is still young. We'll need to go into the weekly time frame to see what we should expect. So going into the weekly time frame on DXY, what do we have? We still believe that we are much into the wave 5, and we are yet to really complete that wave 5. That is what we believe now. You have to bear with us. The signal is really poor, but I will be quick with it. This is the wave 4, and not until we break 102, we won't change this trend. But we believe that this is impulsive quite to the downside, like we said. But what are we doing at the moment? Still on the weekly time frame, we can see the emergence of this pin bar. Would it close like this? If it close like this, in another 4 hours, once Sunday's market opens, it will send a clear signal that we are still going to go bearish and that we're not going up in the, let's look at what is possible on the daily. I think that is where I'm going to stall for now. What can I see on the daily? So far, we can see the movement from the top here. We believe that this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. And except if we feel that if this stop here at 100, 500, 100.5 is taken, that is when we will now be entertaining a more complex wave 4 on the higher time frame. But for now, I still believe that we are in wave 5, and this is 105, which is we talked about last week, and this is 205. So this is a tall order for price to break for now. I don't want to see price break 100.550. So once we break that, then we can now begin to talk of more, complex correction to the upside. So for now, you don't want to sell dollar from here. You still want dollar to probably give you a little more to the upside. So what do I expect from here? With this leading diagonal that we had here, we had a leading diagonal here with this wave 2 move, then we can see this movement probably as an A wave, this as a B wave, then we are seeing a C wave. So that is what we can regard this to now, and an A wave to the upside, a B wave, and a C wave. In that regard, the movement, the retracement, which is the extension to the downside, it's almost at 1618. I'm sorry, at about 123, extension to the downside of this A wave. So we should entertain more like a 1-2 formation that will give us a running flat. So if we are looking for a running flat, you should just be looking for a retracement from here to the upside, maybe about 618. And let's see if we're going to get a reaction on the DXY around 99,750, around this area. It might break this candle here, this bullish candle slightly around this area. So 99,750, this is where I expect us to get a reaction to the downside. On the euro dollar, it's the same thing. On the euro dollar, we are still bullish. Everything still looks bullish. If we look at the weekly candle, though it appears bearish here now, but if you look at that weekly candle, you must be very careful of trying to see market selling you a dummy and you want to fall for it. The NFP news probably gave dollar a little strength, and that was what we can say accounts for the bearish move on euro dollar. So you can still see this candle still bullish on the weekly time frame. I don't think price will break this area for now. I don't see price breaking 1.13460 area. But let's see how it goes. But the daily time frame will help us further. So let's look at the daily. So on the daily, we can still see this as probably a correction. A, probably B, and a C. And retracement of these to the downside, probably around 161, around 618. We should expect reaction around 1.13410. Yeah, 13,410. We should expect reaction around that area. For if we get a reaction, then we go up from there. And anything more means that we're having a more complex correction. On pound USD, same way. I think all these things are giving us a much deeper correction on this time frame. Probably an A, a B, and a C. Once we don't take this, if we take 1.34190, then it's something else that is happening. So we must be looking at a movement, a bigger movement on a larger time frame. But for now, a 618 is still what I will go for. We look for price to around 134,770 area. 770 area, around this area, we can expect a bounce, maybe really at this low here, as this support here. We can, or slightly below it, we can expect a bounce. On NZD USD now, it's also similar. This may be an A wave, which can be a 1-2, and we are seeing another 1-2. So if we're saying a 1-2, that's a nest in wave 3, because that's what most of the time it happens in wave 3, that we see a 1-2, a 1-2, which means that when you have an impulse, you have a retracement of about at least 50% or 618 to the other side. So that's a 1-2, a 1-2 that occurs most of the time in wave 3, because it develops a nest. So this is like a 1-2 and a 1, another 2. So you can call it a running flag, an A, B, C. A 618 from low here to the top here, probably we expect price to react around 0.59840 area. 840, around this area, we should expect price to react, probably at the touch of this area, without breaking it slightly to the downside to grab liquidity, and price will resume bullish. Yen, dollar yen. So what do we expect on dollar yen? On dollar yen, now we can see that this seems to have completed this correction to the upside, and this looks like the first impulse. Now here is where the complexity is. This might go up as an A, B, C, breaking this top here. But I think what we can actually look for is to now look for this first wave to the downside and look for a 618 reaction, to the upside. And that 618, retracement of this entire way to the upside, it's where we can begin to look for price, and that will be around 146, 130 area. 146, 130 area. Actually, without breaking without breaking it, and this is the area we can begin to look between this resistance and this resistance. Without probably breaking this area, we should get a reaction. So if we want to follow it, another thing we can do is to see if we draw a trend resistance, and we'll see if we're going to get, let me go to 4-hour time frame. If we're going to get a reaction on that trend resistance from this top. Yeah, this trend resistance from this top here, that may help. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Because that's the new area this price is giving us now. So that's the area the price is giving us with this retracement, and that coordinates, falls around this area of a 618 around 130, 146, 130 area. So price may not actually take this top here, but your stop loss could just be around this area to watch for price. That is what I don't think price may just kiss this area or slightly below it without breaking it. These are the areas we should be looking for a reaction. So this is still in progress, or alternatively, you can do this as an A, B, and a C of 1618 to the upside, and that's probably may take price a little below, maybe around 145, 800 area for your yen dollar. Now let's go to gold. Gold, and that'll be the last one on gold. I will first want to take this and let's see what because gold is kind of funny. It's kind of funny. We may think that, okay, this is an A, B, C, and that is all for wave 4, and that it's 50-50, but we have to be very careful. We may think that, oh, maybe we've done an X wave, and probably we are going to see a Y wave to the downside around this area. But not until we break the low of this area. In fact, not until we break the low of this area, I won't give it a good thought. We have to break 3273 area. So once we break 3273 area, I will give it a good thought that, that now is possible, that we can now do, an a WXY to the downside. But for now, I'll still be thinking of a 1-2 and a 1-2. So a running flat is what I'll still be thinking without breaking 3272. Let me say 3272 without breaking that. Now, but for you to understand, because I'm not just giving this, for you to understand my sentiment and the context of wave formation, we need also to look into what is happening in the higher time frame. Let's go to the monthly time frame and see what if we are still bullish. Now, this is the monthly time frame. Let me zoom in. So on the monthly time frame, we are still super bullish. We can see what had happened so far after we had this candle on this was April, and the whole of June, I mean May, was a doji, which is bullish doji, and now the price had gone up from here. Technically, we are still within consolidation on the higher time frame. Not until we break 34.29 area, then we now resume back into the bullish shape. But for now, the consolidation body is still bullish. That's what is giving us on the monthly. Well, this month is just like 7 days old. We can't still, but the mood on that monthly is bullish. So let's look at the weekly time frame also. Now, looking at the weekly time frame, what I can see here, can you see, is still bullish. If the price should close another 4 hours this way with this inverted hammer, it sends a signal that the price will go up and break the top. That is what I can see. It sends a signal that the price will go and break the top. So we might just be in a 1, 2, 1, 2. Like this is a wave 1, wave 2. Wave 1, wave 2. Then we might just be within wave 3, which is like a 1, 2 here, another 1, 2 here of a wave 3. But we need to take out around this area. Let me see. Let's go back on the daily time frame now. It's consolidation, but you have to be very careful when you are taking gold on this kind of consolidation. You have to be very careful because any small movement is big. So if you are reading candle formation and you think it's going to go down, you might be wrong. So for now, I would take this as a wave 1 to the upside because it went up like a 5-wave structure to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is a 3-wave format to the downside, A, B, C, to have this. And this looks like a 5-wave too, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here. So what I can expect for now is to make this an A, to make this as a B, and a C to the downside. So if we are super bullish, then we should expect a running flat to the upside. A running flat would now be an A, B, and a 618 to the downside. Probably we should expect reaction around 3300 area. Around this area, 3300, this is the area very close to it now that we expect a reaction. So with the price, I have no business breaking 32.72. To be frank with you, price should not break that if we are to go up. A break of 32.72, portends more bearish move, which could see us eventually breaking here. So once we break 32.72, expect a retracement, maybe your resistance around this area for more downside. So that's what I'm still more inclined towards seeing us go up and break the top. Looking at DXY, looking at other USD pairs. So that's what you can just allow 3300 and look at 32.72 for price not to break that level for more upside. With that, I've come to the end of today's this week update. Do like, share, and comment. Bye.